Ni hao, 我是 Jordan, 喂英我到我的频道. Or, hello, my name is Jordan. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Jordan. I'm a family of 3 who currently live in China. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for all your China content. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why my family and I decided to move to China, what life is like in China, what our life was like in the United States, some pros and cons of living in China. If you did not know this, we are a Black lesbian family of 3, my wife, myself, and our daughter. And we moved to China. We've officially lived in China for 6 months now, and it has been such a crazy experience. Yes, there have been ups and downs, and we're gonna get into that later on in the video. But my most asked questions that I get, mainly on my TikTok page, is why did you move to China? What was the reason, and why did you guys pick China? That's, to me, a loaded question, I guess. Like, it's very hard to answer and be specific exactly our personal reasons why. It is very personal to us. However, what I will tell you guys is we definitely wanted a better way of life. In America, we worked very hard. We were living in an apartment. We moved from Kansas City, Missouri to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we lived in Florida for about 7 years. My daughter has pretty much been raised in Florida. Our daughter has pretty much been raised in Florida. My wife's entire family lived in Florida, so we wanted to raise our daughter around her family. However, things just started getting very stressful. We felt like we were on this repeated cycle over and over of the same stuff every day. I'd wake up, I'd go to work. My wife, she would work, she would go to school, come home. It was just the same thing. Our daughter would go to school. We did not feel happy in that lifestyle. We loved being around her family. We did enjoy some parts of South Florida. We lived right by the beach, so it was really great. However, we lived in an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, and there seemed no end to ever get out of that apartment and get something better. Our dream definitely was to eventually own a home, but watching the prices of the home go up and up and up, it seemed like our dream was getting further and further away from us. Then when a lot of political things happened, my wife told me, hey babe, let's move out of the country. Crazy, right? I literally was like, no, I'm not moving out of the country. I just got a new car. I was at the peak in my job, making so much money. I just finally started getting a good circle of friends in Florida. There was no way I wanted to give any of that up. I was like, no, there's no way, I'm not leaving. And, she definitely was not happy that I said that, and pretty much was like, well, I need you to decide if you're leaving with me or you're gonna stay here. Like, we need to make that decision. And it took me some time. The holidays that came through, I really enjoyed spending the holidays in America, in Florida with her family. And I enjoyed what I did for work. I was a personal trainer in Florida. I literally had only been doing that for a year, and I didn't want to give that up. And I worked so hard to get my car, which I know is a material thing, but that was kind of like important to me because I had worked really hard to get to that. So of course I told her, yes, I'm gonna come with you, but I was like dragging my feet. Like, I really was not for wanting to go. I was just dragging my feet, hoping one day that she would literally change her mind. But my wife will not tell me anything that she has her mind set on if she plans on changing her mind. Like, if her mind is set on doing something, then that's what she is going to do. That's the type of person that she is. But delusional me thinking that she's going to change her mind one day. So it took me to a situation happening with me and my daughter at a store for me to be on board with, you know what, F it here, we're going. We were harassed by this man in the store. My little 6-year-old daughter at the time was being harassed by this man in the store because he thought she kicked him, and would not leave her alone, and nobody in the store stood up for us. It was just a horrible experience. I literally was upset about this. Like, to this day, if I think about the situation, I'm so pissed. And usually my wife is always with us. Unfortunately, she wasn't at the time. So I was just like, you know what? I'm so sick of the way people treat people in this, like, period, in public. Why are you treating a little girl like this? And it just was eye-opening for, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I know what you're going to say. Yes, I know people can be certain ways in other places, but how dangerous people can get in the United States for you not complying with them, you getting an attitude with them, you looking at them wrong, it was just too dangerous. Like, I just couldn't think if this situation, like, what if the situation could have been worse? Which is what happens sometimes, is these situations tend to start small and turn into this big thing, and next thing you know, people are injured. So that was my turning point. And I was like, you know what, babe, I'm on board. Let's go. What do we need to do to get to China? And of course, that goes back to why China, why my wife chose China. One thing about the both of us is she is a researcher. She is going to do the research. She is going to look extensively before she makes any life major decisions. Before she joined the military, she looked extensively. Before she bought her car, she did extensive research. Before we moved to Florida, we did extensive research. She also is the type to have a plan set in place for us to go anywhere, to do anything. Before we did IVF, there was a plan. So that's how she is. So she did her research. She compared the different countries. I know right now you hear of a lot of people moving to Asia countries. Thailand, Vietnam are major ones. And she did the comparison. Which one is going to be more bang for our buck? Which one is safer? Which laws and regulations do we like? Which ones are going to prevent us as a lesbian couple from living our lives? Which the answer is none of them. So we chose the city in China based off of the cost of living, the cost of the environment, like the food, supplies, those type of things, the housing, and how the way of life of people in China are. Plus, the city that we chose to live in is one of the major gay cities in China. Yes, we know gay marriage is not accepted in China. So legally in China, we're not married, but we're still US citizens. So do what you will with that information. So that's why we chose this city. We started doing research. We reached out to people, Black couples that we knew lived here, asking them about their experience, asking them for advice. They were very helpful with us in our process to move to China. So we started in February of 2025 we never had passports before. We had never been out the country. So we started getting our passports. That was a kind of crazy situation. And my TikTok, I go into detail about what happened with me and my passport. If you want to hear more about that, please leave a comment below. Next, we had to get our visas. We had to save money. My wife worked very hard to save up an amount of money for us to move here. We found a realtor that we were working with moving here. Then towards maybe August of 2024, sorry if I said 2025 before, 2025. I'm lost in the years. So around August 2025, we started looking into our plane tickets. We needed our one-way ticket, and we ended up finding those tickets. And that's when I told my job. I said I'm put in my resignation for October. I know it was a bit early, but I had a lot of clients and I wanted to give them plenty of time to situate my clients. Then we started telling our family, which surprisingly, all of our family was very supportive. We have not had anybody that I can think off the top of my head who is not supportive of our move to China. Yes, they were sad. Yes, they cried. But everybody's been supportive. My own best friends came down to Florida to visit me for the last time. And my brother came down to visit me. So just a lot of support from everybody around us. A lot of understanding too for our reasons wanting to go. Then November of 2025, we officially moved to China, and it's been 6 months since we lived here in China. So that is our story of why we wanted to move to China, the quick version. So since we've been to China, what has life been like for us in China? Of course, it was a major culture shock. I kind of went into this with a little bit of expectation that there would kind of be a little more English speaking, and that's not the case, which is fine. I understand. I'm not mad about that. But it taught me to get out of my comfort zone and learn their language, understand the signage. There are some places that have signage that is in Chinese and English, and there are some people that we have met that have spoke English. So with that being said, some of the pros of being here are the people here are so friendly. People enjoy meeting us. People enjoy trying to talk with us. Right down the street is a convenience store on the corner. The man there is so nice. We exchange WeChat information, and I can just text him, hey, do you have this in the store? How much is it? I'm coming to get it. Community like that. There is such a great community here. Another pro is getting into an apartment is easier here than it is in America. There's no application fee. A lot of places are privately owned by one owner in a whole complex. There's one owner that owns owns the apartment, that owns the condo, and you only just deal with him. So you can kind of negotiate the pricing. The places come fully furnished. The rent is affordable for us, and the money that we make, it is very affordable. We moved into a brand new build, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. I did apartment tour in other videos. You can go back and watch that. What else? No application fee, no credit check. They do want pretty much bank statements to make sure you make the money, and you pay your rent every 3 months. So before you move in, you have to pay your rent 3 months up front, plus the property fee, which is usually $100, and it's for maintenance and for pay for the people to keep up with the area. We live in a very nice community, and they take care of the community very well. So the money is well spent. It goes to that, the people cleaning the hallways and so on. So that is a pro. Another pro is China is so kid friendly and kid safe. It just, for the longest time, blew my mind how safe it was. I can literally walk at night alone and feel safe. If I walk past a man, I don't have to feel like he's a threat to me. Me and my daughter go out to the park all the time. There are other kids at the park by themselves. Every major shopping center or mall has kid-friendly things to do. They have kiddie rides. They have educational games and activities for kids to do. They have animal play and activities. My daughter has played with birds and fish and learned about these different things, and the kids gravitate to her. They see her as a foreigner and they want to go up to her, because a lot of kids in China in their schools are learning English, so they will go talk to her in English. And sometimes if I run into an adult who also is in the process of learning English, they will talk to me to better their English speaking. And I've made a couple friends like that. They'll want to exchange WeChat information and tell me, hey, if you run into any problems in China, reach out to me and I will help you. I will translate for you, which is amazing. These people are so nice and their way of life is very great. A lot of times I will learn from them and ask them questions. Hey, why do Chinese people do this? Why do they do that? And they will give me really good, helpful information. I know you hear about Chinese people never seen Black people before and acting a certain way towards them. Yes, they do stare a lot. They will come closer to you. I've only had one kind of bad experience. I don't think it had anything to do with me being Black. I think it was just me being a foreigner and not understanding the language. But for the most part, they just are curious, they're interested. They will ask to take pictures, which has not been bothersome to me at all. They will look at Adise and talk about how she's so beautiful. They love Mela. They are so gravitated towards her and like talking with her and communicating with her. It has been just great getting to know the people and the culture here. So yeah, people here are so nice and friendly and very open in the city that we are in. Another pro is we have traveled quite a bit since living in China. I was never the travel type person. I didn't really care to travel a lot in the United States. I didn't care to fly. I didn't really care to do anything, but we have been multiple times since being here to other cities in China, and it has been a great experience. I've had an opportunity where somebody's reached out to me for a major collaboration here in China and flew us out to that city, and it was such a great experience. They are so nice and friendly. They welcome foreigners to come and experience. They want you to come to their facilities and review it, rave about it, share about it. So that has been a major pro living here in China. Another major pro is the food. Not only is the food at the grocery stores affordable getting groceries, but it's fresh food. A lot of the foods that I'll see in America, for instance, let me compare the meat, ground beef. The ground beef here is 100 times different than it is in America. The taste, the texture is so different. And I've read that in China, they're not pumping these foods with hormones and artificial things that do not belong in these foods. The foods come in smaller packages because typically Chinese people don't eat in large portions. That's literally just an American thing. A lot of things come in smaller portions and it doesn't last as long. So if you buy a thing of meat, you better eat that meat within 2 or 3 days because it's gonna go bad. It's not gonna last long like how it does in America. If you buy bread, it's not gonna last as long. If you buy fruit, it is not gonna last as long because these things are not being pumped with things that put into it that should not be put into it to make the produce last longer. Things are going to expire faster, but they are so much fresher and so much more affordable. But the food, when it comes to ordering out, is insanely affordable. My wife, we are, like I said, we are a family of 3. We can literally go to our favorite burger restaurant and get 3 meals for under $12 for all of us. And it is fresh, it is delicious, so good. Like that we love so much. We ordered ice cream last night. 3 of us got ice cream for $4, and that was including delivery. And delivery is another pro. Delivery is so huge here. In America I hated using DoorDash. I was traumatized by using DoorDash because the food wouldn't come fresh. I didn't trust them. I've seen DoorDashers pull up to my apartment in sketchy looking cars. They have misdelivered and delivered to other places. The fees are astronomical. The tips are astronomical. Here in China, 1, you don't have to tip. And 2, the delivery is extremely fast. Fresh delivery, they package everything and seal it so well. And it's a trust thing. Everybody trusts everybody here. There is no, like, that I've seen, no scamming going on, no ill will being done to the Chinese people or to us. Everything is, you trust these drivers. These drivers, it's their way of life and they take care and take pride in what they are doing. So yes, the food here is very fresh. The food is so spicy, but when I first got here, I was like, I don't know if I like the food and it's okay. But now we love the Chinese food. Like we're literally talking about ordering dumplings. We are obsessed with dumplings and noodles tonight. Do they have American food here? Somewhat. They have their own Chinese version of American food, which is okay. They have McDonald's, they have different things in McDonald's that are Chinese things. They love like meat on a stick and like sausage on a stick, I guess is what it is. So they incorporate that in their McDonald's. Even their Subway is sketchy looking. Like I don't know if I would eat the Subway because they have their own Chinese version of meats and stuff that Chinese people like and ingredients that Chinese people like. Durian is a huge fruit here in Asia and it's used in a lot of their things like pizza. That's something that I don't like, but it's a huge thing here that Chinese people love. So when you have these American restaurants, you have Chinese version of American restaurants. Just like in America, you have American version of Chinese restaurants. And speaking of that, you guys, I have never in my life seen General Tso's chicken here, orange chicken here, an egg roll, like lo mein noodles, I guess, but they definitely don't call it that. So the American Chinese, if you're coming to visit Chinese, do not come here with the mindset that you're gonna get American Chinese food here. Crab rangoon, never seen that in a restaurant. You're most likely not gonna get that because that's not authentic Chinese food. I haven't really ate anything exotic. I feel like I need to like try that. I have a Chinese friend here who I want to like her to take me to a restaurant and try her type of food that typical Chinese people eat. Like I'm down to try like some octopus. I'm down to try some hot pot things. But I want to do it with somebody who knows kind of what they're doing and can help me with the flavors because there is so much different things here. I would be definitely down to try, but I'm scared to like do that on my own because I don't want to get the wrong thing and then that will put a bad impression on me like, oh, it was nasty, but no, it's really not. It's me who is not ordering it right or not putting it together right. Another pro, let me think. Yeah, just I think the environment and the culture as itself, I really love. We have established a great community of friends here, which I feel like are real genuine friends that are from America. There is a engaged couple, there is a married couple with their kids, and we all hang out together as friends. So I really love that community that we have established. We hang out all the time. We just celebrated a birthday. We'll just go out randomly. We had a huge New Year's Eve party together. I have a video about that. So I really love that little piece of home. Speaking of home, I'm going to transition into some of the cons of living here in China. I do miss home. There are some things I do miss in America. There are some American foods that I do miss. Like I miss American sushi. I don't eat imported sushi at all here in China. So I really miss that imported sushi and that American sushi, how they mixed and matched it. I miss American pizza. I have had like the Papa John's here is very good. But there's a place back home, Jet's Pizza, I really miss. I miss tacos. I miss not even American tacos, but I miss like authentic Mexican tacos from the taco stands I used to get back in Florida. I miss barbecue food. Of course, I miss my friends and family. I was a happy hour girl. I miss going to happy hour. I don't know any happy hours here yet. But I definitely miss like just on a Tuesday night wanting to go out for a happy hour and get some drinks and some appetizers. I definitely miss that aspect, and I just haven't done that here yet. So that I would say is kind of a con so far, but that can change once I'm getting more acclimated here and knowing some certain places to go and meeting some more Chinese friends. What else is a con? The smoking, I'm not even gonna lie, they smoke and cough and spit. I will never get used to that, but that's on them. I don't say anything because it's their country. I'm just living in it, but personally I just don't like it, and I try to avoid it and try to stay away from the smoke if I can. Try to wear a mask when we travel. But yeah, that is a major con, is that. What else would be a con? I mean, just stuff that I feel like can change over time. Me not understanding the language sometimes, and I will not want to even, I'll be like, oh, let me not even go out and ask these questions because I don't understand. And sometimes the translator app can be not as accurate, and I'll just kind of get tired of using it, or I'll feel dumb that I don't know, or I feel dumb because I don't understand them. So sometimes I'll give up, but sometimes I push myself to try. So this is the most major life-changing thing that we have done here. Yeah, it's definitely like if you would have asked me 2 years ago if I would live in another country, my answer would have been no, because I would have been terrified. And if it wasn't for my wife, I would have never thought to move to another country. But here we are, and we are living life. And right now, if you hear noise out the window, it's the construction, because China is always building. They are always advancing. They are always making the environment clean and new and high tech and beautiful. And so that's what's happening now. I have the windows open, enjoying some fresh air. So yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, follow along our China content, because I'm going to be making lots of YouTube videos sharing our experience out here in China. Leave any questions or comments you have below. If you plan on visiting China, or if you visited before, tell me your experience about being here. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.